Well, tell us about, I know you got your book coming out here. Tell us about any other upcoming projects that you're working on that people need to know about.
Um, right now, I'm still working on getting the word out about the Reaper's Dance, but I've started working on an outline of my next book called um, Squirrels in My Head. It's about neurodiversity, it's about ADHD and autism spectrum. I have ADHD. I never knew it. I grew up in a country at a time where nobody knew about ADHD. My parents didn't know it. They just thought that I was distracted and that I could not focus, that I was playful. So all my life I struggled with this, that I have ADHD, and I did not even know that I had ADHD. So I used to think that there was something wrong with me, that I wasn't as good. And because I had this drive in me, I had to prove that I was better. And that kind of pushed me to accomplish all the things I did. But there was a part of me that was always felt like the kid in the candy store, but standing on the outside looking in at everyone else having a party, but wondering why I could not really participate. And I was 58 years old when a physician friend of mine told me, "Hey, Ravi, you have ADHD." I said, "No way. What do you mean, man?" And like, I have a phenomenal memory. I have almost a photographic memory, and I did all this. I'm an MD. I'm a PhD. I'm a top doctor. I got all these awards. Went to Harvard. All of that. He said, "Yeah, yeah, that's all very fine. You're a high functioning ADHD, and I'll prove it to you." I said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." So he sat me down and he made me do this test. And at the end of the test, he scored the test in front of me and he said, "Look at this. You score off the charts. You have ADHD. You're very high functioning. You have certain qualities that actually protected you from the failures that a lot of ADHD people get trapped in. Um, Most importantly was the your ability, your photographic memory. You have a memory that you just need to see a passage once and you can recite it from memory. But you realize that that is not just that photographic memory actually puts you on the ADHD, very mildly autistic spectrum disorder. Um, and that's why you have that photographic memory, but you used it to excel in academics. Um, but you have ADHD, and I'm going to give you Adderall. And he gave me a prescription for Adderall. He put me on a very low dose, 10 milligrams. And I took it. And the next day, it was like, wow, this is what it means. And I went back to him and I said, and he said, how do you feel? Uh, he practices in the same building that I practice in. So he said, "How do you feel?" So I said, imagine that you were in a glass cage. And from birth, you have been moving around in this glass cage, looking out at the world around you. And with you in the glass cage are 10 million butterflies. And these butterflies are fluttering all around your face and around your head like a cloud. And you are looking at the world and trying to interact with the world through this cloud, the storm of butterflies. And you think that that's how it is for everyone. So you never really doubt it. You think that there's nothing wrong with you. That's all you ever knew from birth. And so you think that that's the way it is for everyone. And you just wonder that the other people must be better than you at handling the things in the world. That's why they do better than you. And that's why things are hard for you. And then along comes one day, one person who gives you this little blue pill, and you take the blue pill, and all the butterflies sit down on the ground, and you can see with clarity. That's how I feel. So I took the medicine for about a month. At the end of the month, I went to him and I said, "You know what? I've already accomplished everything I want to accomplish in life. I don't need Adderall. Just the knowledge that I of my diagnosis is liberating enough. All these years, I did not know what I had. Just knowing that I'm not, there's nothing messed up about me, there's nothing wrong with me, it is just who I am, is powerful enough, and I can just move on with this. And now I know when I'm distracted what to do. So that's it. So I never went back. I never took Adderall. But so the book that I'm working on is called Squirrels in My Head: Growing Up Neurodiverse in a Neurotypical World. So neurodiversity is this new word that is being coined. People don't consider ADHD, autism, bipolar, all these things as disorders anymore. They are actually different states of being. If you look at light, visible light, and you look at light, and it is a spectrum. It is, you have the ultraviolet, then you have the violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and then infrared, and so on and so forth. The whole neurodiversity and what is neurotypical is just a percentage game. It is just that the large majority of people are, their brains are wired in a particular way, which is what we consider as normal. And then you have these neurodiverse people whose brains are wired slightly differently. If you ever stop to think, do you don't see the same world that a bumblebee sees. A honeybee sees the world in different colors than you do. A dog sees things differently, hears things differently. Um, a friend of mine said, your dog can, he was teaching me how to train my dog, and I was yelling at the dog, sit, sit. And he said, your dog can hear a mosquito fart at 100 yards. Why are you screaming at him? And so that's that's what neurodiversity is. Neurodiversity are people who see the world through a different lens, different eyes. And as we go forward into the next century, we are in the beginning of the 22nd century. As we go forward into the century with artificial intelligence and so much technology, the world is going to become more and more knowledge based. The brute force of physical manufacturing is going to get replaced by mental power, by mind strength instead of muscle strength. And and in that world, you cannot go into that world with just neurotypical minds dictating how that world is navigated. You're going to need in your workforce, in the companies, you're going to need to create environments where neurodiverse people can not only work, but can thrive and feel validated and rewarded. Because you are going to be dependent on the different vision that they bring to the world around you. So that's what the second book is going to be about: Squirrels in My Mind, Growing Up Neurodiverse in a Neurotypical World. I've just started the outline. It's going to be a lot more work, but I have resources. I have friends at the Duke University Center for Autism, which is just a matter of 4 hours drive from my house. So on weekends, I'll probably go over there, meet with people, and so on. Write stories, collect stories of people, of neurodiverse people, neurotypical people, and compile them into a volume that can serve as a roadmap for people, for companies, and for leaders to craft the world of tomorrow.